Beth in the museum that comes alive. Once upon a time, there was a curious 11-year-old girl named Beth. One day, Beth went on a field trip to a museum with her parents. Beth's parents were always reminding her to stay close to them, but Beth was feeling mischievous and wanted to play a trick on her parents. When they entered the museum, Beth pretended to tie her shoe and quickly hid behind a display. She waited until her parents were out of sight and then giggled to herself. But as she tried to catch up with them, she realized she had no idea where they went. Beth started to panic and began to search for her parents. But the longer she looked, the more tired she became. She found a cozy spot and decided to rest her eyes for a moment. When she woke up, it was pitch black. Beth called out for her parents, but no one answered. She started to hear strange noises that made her skin crawl. She tried to move, but her feet felt heavy as if they were glued to the ground. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she saw something move in the shadows. It was a statue, but it had come to life. Beth rubbed her eyes, thinking she was imagining things, but as she looked around, she realized that all the exhibits had come alive. The ancient Egyptian mummies were walking around, and the dinosaurs had broken free from their displays. Even the paintings on the walls were starting to move. Beth was scared, but she was also amazed. She had never seen anything like it. She followed the exhibits as they roamed through the museum, not quite sure where they were going. They seemed to be searching for something. As they turned a corner, Beth saw a light shining in the distance. She followed it, and soon she found herself outside the museum. Her parents were waiting for her, and they were relieved to see her safe and sound. Beth tried to tell them about her adventure, but they didn't believe her. She knew what she had seen, though, and she smiled to herself, knowing that she had discovered a secret that no one else knew. From that day on, she visited the museum often, hoping to catch another glimpse of the exhibits coming alive at night. After Beth's first adventure at the museum, she couldn't stop thinking about the exhibits that came to life at night. She had to see it again, but this time, she wanted to share the experience with her mom. Beth's mom was hesitant at first, but Beth's enthusiasm and persistence finally convinced her to spend the night at the museum. They arrived early, set up their sleeping bags, and waited for nightfall. As the sun set and the museum grew quiet, Beth and her mom lay awake, waiting for the exhibits to come to life. And sure enough, just as Beth had promised, the exhibits began to stir. The Egyptian mummies began to walk around, the paintings on the walls came to life, and even the T-Rex skeleton began to move. Beth's mom was amazed and a little scared, but Beth was thrilled to see the exhibits once again. As they wandered through the museum, Beth and her mom met a talking statue who led them on an adventure through the exhibits. They explored ancient Greece and Rome, saw how the first telephones were made, and even met a giant squid that had come to life. The night was full of excitement and wonder, and as the sun began to rise, Beth and her mom felt grateful for the magical experience they had shared together. The end. Do you want to hear more stories? Then hit the subscribe button to follow our channel, so you never miss another daily story. And keep listening now, as more stories will play shortly.